Welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. Okay, so we have a very, very special show today because as you can see, I'm not in Bali, Indonesia, and I'm certainly not in my own studio. However, I am in Revenge MD, which is in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm with the founder, Sandy Bledsoe, who is the CEO and founder of Revenge MD. They're also known as the leaders of cosmetic treatments and injections in Nevada. So I wanted to bring out Sandy today and talk to you a bit about your story. So welcome here. Welcome to my show, or maybe I should say thank you for having me in your space. How are you?
Hi, Rhonda.
So good to see you.
So it's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Okay, so first off, let's talk a bit about how Revenge MD came about and, more about what your values are of your business.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't have the vision of owning a cosmetic injection healthcare facility, but it came about, as a lot of things do in life, just by serendipity and intuition. So for me, I had a weight loss center about 20 years ago, and when FinFin was pulled off the market, we looked for something that would be the next big thing, and it turned out, the next alternative. And Botox, we heard about this great product that Allergan was putting out called Botox. So it was something that doctors didn't really want to get into. So I was a medical assistant at the time, and I found myself doing a lot of Botox and therefore a lot of filler. And so for the past 20 years, that's what I did until they changed the law in 2017 to where only regulated RNs could do the injections. So at that point, I hired the best nurses with an artistic flair and taught them the method that I'd been doing for the past 20 years that was so successful.
Okay, let's talk about this because this is what I love the most, right? Like, anyone can say they own an injectable, cosmetic and injectables, right?
Yes.
But you've done something very, very different. And you were sharing with me this method called PTSP.
Yes.
Right? So share a bit about that because I think this is what makes Revenge MD, this is like where your category queen is at because anyone can go anywhere else. However, when they come to Revenge MD, they get something very specific, just as if they're in a franchise, right?
Well, it's really special and it's so customized to each individual and their muscle movement. So PTSP is something that I developed that is placement, technique, strength of product, and pricing. PTSP. And the reason why I found it was really important that if I was going to be servicing the mass of women and men that were desiring this anti-aging neurotoxin, then I needed to find a way to where they could get the same results, even better, with every time they came into our location. So I found that by training our nurses in PTSP, placement, technique, strength of product, and pricing, that they could have the same outcome, the same results that they would be consistently happy with.
Which is why probably your clients come to you, not only here, but you also have another
Reno
location.
Lake Tahoe.
Okay, so you're also in Reno. You know what's really funny about that is that when I was in South Lake Tahoe this last December, in January, I went to one of the lash places that recommended me to go to you, and I didn't even know, here we are in your space, and
a year later.
I'm like, what?
Interesting, right?
Right? It's such because you were the number one recommended.
Well, here's how that happened, is because whenever I started 20 years ago and started doing Botox, again, the doctors weren't real comfortable with it. They were more into healthcare, preventative medicine, and they weren't looking at it as a cosmetic treatment. And we all know now that it's the number one cosmetic treatment in the world is neurotoxins. So for me, I knew that I loved making women feel better about themselves, making them feel happier, more confident. So in doing that, I looked at it and I thought, in Nevada, the brothels was a natural place to go for women who wanted the product. So I would have big classes events at the brothels, and that's how it started.
Wow.
And it just kept growing and growing from there. And so from that, for the next 7 years, I did a lot of Botox and fillers under the direction of a doctor, but the doctor just needed to be within 30 minutes of of where I was.
Well, let's face it. I mean, I'm 49. And do you even want to reveal how old you are? Because this is amazing, this woman.
I'm just had my 67th birthday.
Like, right? Like, come on.
It kills me to tell my brain that.
Right? You're like,
I don't even want to tell my brain
That's
that.
what I said to them. Like, wait, I just turned 49. Is this even for real? Like, I feel like I'm 15 still,
Yeah.
right? However, this is a really true topic. You know, people like to skirt around it or pretend like they don't do it. But I'm telling you, like, we want to preserve our
Right.
youth. We're preserving our youth, you know? And yeah, there's a lot to be said about being authentic and natural. But this is, I think, a bit different. It's about really feeling good about yourself. And I think you
Right.
share that so well, that the way that women come in and men and how they walk out,
Yes.
like, you really are changing lives.
Well, it's interesting because you want to think that in a cosmetic side, a lot of that is superficial.
Right.
But we live in a world where we are judged by the way we look. And I've always heard that men are judged by what they do and women are judged by how they look. And that if we walk into a party, a lot of people ask, it's not as much this way, thank goodness, but it used to be they'd ask the man what they do and they'd look at the woman by how she looks. So for us, being a woman in today's society has a lot of pressure that goes along with it. And it is definitely age prejudice. But yet at the same time, I feel that if we can look great on the outside, feel great on the inside, and now we have bioidentical hormone therapy that we do, we have stem cell therapy for joints and for different areas that need regenerative medicine. That it makes medicine so much fun now because anti-aging is definitely a beautiful area to be in. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether you're 49
Right.
or 67. It means I still want to do tricks on the mountain bike. I still want to jump off a cliff and go soaring.
Well, you said this
know?
earlier. You're like, we are not our
Grandmothers.
parents or grandmothers anymore.
No.
We're not.
No.
You know?
No.
Here we are, we're doing live TV, we're doing shows. Like, we are present and feeling good, like, especially for me, right? Like, I
Yes.
always tell my audience, I'm super honest. I'm like, I've been doing Botox since I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
So I said, look, the moment that I can say I'm preventing all this from happening, I just feel good about it.
Yeah.
Right? And we are present, and but I think let me ask you this.
Yes.
With women that you work with that come in here, like, how do they feel? Like, when they come in, are they many of them coming in because maybe they're not feeling so good about themselves? You know, like, because this is a real thing. There's this depression. There's so much stuff going on in the world, right? And feeling good about you, especially during this pandemic, just waking up and feeling good and looking in the mirror, it matters.
So our mantra, and this
Yeah.
is what I've got some of the most talented registered nurses who are also injectors, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, who are really skilled in injections, in the technique, the placement, the strength of product, and the pricing.
There it is.
They are very skilled in that, that I'm very blessed in that way because we teach that method here. We have an actual training in school that we do online and also in live person at our clinics where we teach the nurses that same technique. And so it's the Revenge MD technique of doing injections. But what I find is that when people come in, they just want to feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
They want to just,
Spruced
you know,
up.
they're going through a divorce or their husband's cheating or the wife is finding that she wants something different. And so it's one of those things where the nurses have a certain level of psychology that they go through. A lot of them do different art and pottery classes so they can better symmetrically place the face and change the face movement and the tissue. So it is an art. It's not just a simple shot in the face.
Right. Yeah.
It's an art. But what I find is that we all need a little bit of feel better. And my philosophy and our mantra is that if a woman comes into our facility, we want them to leave feeling so much better to where they've been thumbprinted. They've been
Yeah.
thumbprinted in a positive way to where they carry a bright light with them and to where they feel a little bit better about themselves. Because here's what I know. When I get up in the morning, if I look terrible, I don't know why I feel bad. I feel like I'm getting sick. I don't feel well. And when I look terrible, I feel bad. Then I
Confidence levels
bitch at the
off.
kids.
Right, exactly.
I'm mad at my boyfriend.
Business
starts
to go up.
But if I look good, I feel good. When I feel good, I act good. When I act good, I treat each other better. And when you treat each other better, you create these ripples throughout the universe that continue and go
love
on.
it.
So
love
it's
that.
it's a philosophy of just when you look better, you are better.
And better things
you
happen
treat
around
people
you, and you
better.
treat people better.
Right.
All right, so let's flip the switch, because obviously you are a powerhouse woman, right? And you're running this amazing franchise. You know, what are some of the challenges that you've run into by being a female business owner?
I find that for me, expectations are probably the greatest thing.
Yeah.
And for me, if I hire really good people that are better than myself to be around me, then it takes a lot of the burden off me. So if I hire really talented nurses, train them properly, correctly, if I hire your front desk person is probably one of your main positions because that's the first face they see when they come through, or the phone person, whoever answers the phone. So for me, I try to hire everyone better than I am. So if they're better than I am, if they bring something to the table, that's who I hire because I like hiring above me. And then it raises the level.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
For me, I find that it's only limited by my own expectations is
that makes
how I
sense.
feel.
Yeah, my company, I mean, I'm the owner of my company. It's 80% women run.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but we have to then understand and navigate, like, how do we really support each other as women? You know, because I think that has been lacking for such a long time.
Yeah.
You know, but when you all of a sudden see this amazing network of women, we're still gonna have normal things happen in our life, but it's how we deal with it and handle that. Do you find having all women, because you have all women staff, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We haven't always. Sometimes we have male who's very cosmetic oriented, that they love cosmetics and they love working with women.
Yeah.
I mean, I hire whoever's better, if
Yeah,
it's
right.
man or woman.
Yeah, right.
It
Doesn't
just so
matter.
happens this is a field that is predominantly
Yeah.
women, and it's becoming more male oriented because men are finding that they want to look better longer too.
Yeah.
And so Botox is the #1 cosmetic anti-aging treatment. And so it happens to be to where we're in a really great location, Las Vegas, Nevada,
Yep.
Reno,
Yep.
Nevada. How much better does
Yeah.
it get than
Yeah.
that? And yet at the same time in Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Botox is Botox. Xeomin is Xeomin, and Dysport is Dysport, and they are all 3 name brands of neurotoxins. So they all pretty much get the same results, but they have a little bit of a different formulation. So for us, we really do prefer, and we use Xeomin a lot.
Okay.
We're their #1 account in Nevada.
All right, there you go.
So we take pride in that.
Yeah.
We love it, and we're able to, I feel, change a lot of the attitudes around us just by the way that women feel about themselves.
Yeah, I love that. So what's next for Revenge MD? Like, what's
Well,
your plans?
let's talk a minute about Revenge MD.
Yeah,
Revenge,
yeah.
the reason we did Revenge, the name
Yeah,
itself,
actually the name.
is revenge on aging. Is because it's the one way that we can get revenge on aging, because that's something that happens to all of us, whether we like it or not. The year creeps by and we're another year older, and it just means that we'd like to be better as we get older. So with neurotoxin, that's a way that you can keep your muscles from interacting and causing the etching of the cellular structure, which creates the lines and wrinkles. So if we can prohibit some of those that are aging, for me, I like some of those aging lines. I like this, like when you're smiling, Rhonda, I love it that you still have
My little crow's feet.
I love that because those are what makes us look normal.
Yeah, the
I don't want
expression.
to take those
I'm
away
super
from
expressive.
you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
don't take that stuff away from
I don't want to take those away from you. So for me, I love the little nose bunny lines. But there's some people that don't like those. I like that there is, and especially on a man, I love a man to look like a man.
Right.
And I love women and their expression lines. So I don't like taking a lot. That's my personal philosophy. A lot of women feel like, I don't want to move.
Like, keep me tight, right?
I don't want to move. But I like, personally, I like some expression. So expression's important, I think, in your smile lines, in your laugh lines, in your eyes. It tells me who you are. So I don't like taking those away. We just like improving. Just taking small little subtle lines away that could cause you to look mean, mad, angry. Stay away from me.
I call the resting bitch face when I'm like, can you help me like lift this up so I don't always look like I'm pissed off, because I'm super intense.
Right.
When I'm working, I'm like, super serious, like, are you mad at me?
Well, and it also is one of those things that says, stay away from me.
Right.
And if we're in a world where we want people to come to us,
that's right.
and that we want to be approachable, then you want to look approachable. You don't want to look like you're always mean and pissed off.
That's it.
So for me, I like teaching my staff that. So it's a culture. I find that it's a culture. So the other thing I'm really big on is owning your own story. Is that you have to own your story, whether it's good or bad, whether it's a speed bump or a mountain you've got to surpass. You've got to look at it. And I bring this up to you because 11 years ago is that I was arrested. I have a mugshot for practicing medicine without a license.
Wow.
Well, at that time, it was a real gray area, even though I was never convicted, never sentenced, never went to jail, but I was arrested. That's when I learned that arrest does not mean guilt.
Right.
Because I was arrested, but yet I have a mugshot.
How'd you grow from
and the only thing I regret is that I wasn't smiling and looking a lot more friendly in my mugshot. Because the woman who asked me to called my number up and told me to take a mugshot, the first thing she said is, "How much do you charge a unit?" And I said, I just started like, this is crazy. No one would believe this story. So I've got this crazy look on my face for a mugshot. It's not my headshot, and it's not my dating profile, but it is a mugshot. And so for me, I had to look at it, and it was a point of embarrassment at that one point because I couldn't tell my whole story. And people would just assume when they read, they knew. And I had to look at it and be at peace with that and realize that, hey, it's my story. I've got to own it. I've got to embrace it. Look at it as part of who I am and why I'm where I am. So for me, I would encourage women everywhere that every one of us has a story. And you have to embrace that story, whatever it is, whatever psychological trauma you've overcome, whatever adversity you're going through, whether it's a speed bump or a mountain, you have to look at and decide where you're going to put your energy. And for me, I didn't want to expunge or hire attorneys and go through that expense. I just wanted to own my story, make women feel better, change the world in my own little way, and work with my great staff. I've got an incredible staff and great nurses that I work with, and I'm blessed and fortunate that way. Like I said, I always try to hire up. And so for me, I love it that they're better than I am in a lot of different ways. And so for me, it allows me to go ahead and do this podcast with you.
Are you looking to franchise anymore? What do you think?
I'm looking right now at doing online training for other nurses. We've got a specific pattern
for your method.
For our method.
Amazing.
So we're looking right now at teaching that method to other nurses throughout the United States. And I'm in talks right now with other people who want to open Revenge MDs in their states. So we're looking at that. But, life is great. Tons of opportunities, and it's just life is really good, and the universe is good when you're happy, when you're looking wrinkle less, when you're looking wrinkle free.
Opportunities come to you, right?
Opportunities come to you.
Well, I love it, and I agree with you about the story because obviously we just did the Women Gone Wild book launch. And again, I want to thank you and your staff because without Revenge MD, this event that we just hosted here wouldn't have really happened. And you brought all of the women together, and we gave them a platform and a space to really tell their story and to drop into these things that you don't own. you know, and
Yeah.
it's like it gave all of these women. You could see these women like having permission to own it.
Yeah.
And you know,
And Rhonda, what
yeah.
you're saying is true because not all of it's pretty.
That's it.
A lot
Doing
of
it
our
messy. Some of
story
it's
is
messy.
not pretty.
Exactly.
And you've got to own the not pretty with
yeah,
the pretty.
yeah,
And you've got to
yeah.
say, this is who I am. And it makes you more actually approachable,
Yep.
acceptable,
Yep. Wow.
and it also makes us more judgment free. So for me, a lot of my start was done again at the brothels. And I always looked at it because that taught me a great lesson because while I was there doing my treatments in a medical room in the brothels there was 4 different brothels that I worked at all throughout Nevada and built my very big base. And while I was doing that, I looked at it and I thought, you know, while people would be really judgmental of the working girls, I looked at it and I thought, well, I saw a little pile of money on the side of the bed where I would do my treatments, and I thought, I'm a Botox prostitute. Because really, we all work with what we have.
That's right.
And so for me, I looked at it and I thought, I'm in no position ever to judge.
To judge, that's it.
Because
Yep.
I'm
Brilliant.
using the skill that I have.
Yeah. To
and
make money.
To make
Yep,
money.
to serve
and
others.
Serve others. And I'm no
dare I
different
judge
than
it.
these
Yep.
beautiful little ladies
Yep.
that are doing what they do and making their money or making their school tuition or making their kids' income. Whatever they're doing, I'm in no position to ever judge.
Yep.
So for me, coming from a Mormon background, I'm very judgment-free in that area.
Yeah.
And so that enriched my life, actually. It was an experience that really enriched my life and taught me a lot about business and taught me about non-judgment. So for me, I just love women. I love power women, and I love women who are alphas and take charge. And, you know, we're not the easiest to deal with. Sometimes
Yeah.
we're more difficult.
Right? But you know the cool thing about it is because we really know who we are and what we want. And I think I gained that too. Like my story, I've got a really messy story, but I used it for good and to take care of myself. And I think when we start to tell that real story and that depth of it, we allow ourselves to heal as well. And then be just like, this is who I am.
Right.
Like, this is who I am. Were you, how was your like childhood growing up? Did you have
You know, it's funny you're just talking about messy story because I always made the joke that I love every woman because I only have to see him every 15 minutes. Maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Right.
Because women sometimes we can be challenging.
Totally.
And so for me, I love the idea of being able to really enjoy
Yeah, get
the
those
person
best
I'm with
moments.
for 15 minutes.
Yep.
But I realized, do I just want to be a 15-minute person? Do I want to be a 15-minute friend? Or do I want to be a 15-minute confidant or
Yeah.
association? Or do I really want to know Rhonda's messy story?
yeah.
So for me, I had to really take an in-depth look at my character and
Yeah.
see, am I okay being a 15-minute friend? And to be honest, yeah, I am. No, but
it's good though,
I
right?
like that 15-minute friend
Yeah.
to think the best of everyone.
Yeah.
But here's what I've really missed and what now I'm learning to enjoy is being able to have a relationship and know the messy side and know that that's what makes Rhonda so amazing
Yeah.
at what she does is having to have overcome that adversity in her childhood
Yeah.
or to be the person that she is now.
Yeah.
And so for me, I open arm that now, and I really do realize the benefit of being more than a 15-minute friend because
love it.
15 minutes is easy. That's not hard.
Well, my family always says, because we've been traveling for 15 years and we always stay in like, you know, resort locations or wherever it goes on holiday, we're like, we get the best of everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we get the best of everyone. They're always on holiday. We live there, but they're on holiday. It's like everyone's at their best of their best.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
you're
and
in
I love it.
you're in Bali.
We're in Bali. Yeah.
Bali, Indonesia. How much better does that get?
Exactly.
You know, turquoise
well,
water.
Sandy, I love you. I adore your work.
Thanks,
I
Rhonda.
like your space is so beautiful. We're gonna showcase a lot of all this gorgeous rooms in the back, the art, just the touches that you put on, like the notes on your mirrors I noticed, and your staff, like how beautiful that they are. You've really created something magical.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Rhonda.
and I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And yeah, we'll make sure everyone knows how to find you. If you're ever in Henderson or you're in Reno, Nevada, make sure that you come to Revenge MD because their PTSP method is their trademark, and you cannot find it anywhere else. So thanks for being here, Sandy. Thanks for being here, everyone. Make sure that you go follow them, share this, and let us know what you think, right? Let us know how you feel about, your story and owning your story, and what it feels to know that you feel just a little bit better in the morning when you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, yeah, I'm looking so good. All right, I love it. Yeah, thanks, babe. I love it, everyone. See you on the next episode. And don't forget to be unstoppable and stay wild.